Hi there, my name is Riley and today I'm going to show you how to make an object counter HUD in Unreal Engine 5. This is very useful for many games, and if you ever want to count objects, this is a handy tutorial. Start by creating a new folder. We're going to name this folder Assets for now. After naming it Assets, we're going to import our asset. I have a folder on my desktop that I know I have a bunch of files in, so I'm just going to jump to my desktop. In here, I think I have one. Yes. Cool. We're gonna use a brick. Import, we choose bricks. We're gonna do bricks. So let's import our asset just to take a look at it. That's cool. We're not gonna be able to use this object here because it doesn't have any functions or anything in it, but it's still cool to take a look at what object we choose. So let's create a blueprint now. Our next step is to create a blueprint. And we're going to name it Blueprint Brick Pickup. We're going to click it. Takes a few seconds to load the first time. And immediately we're just going to click Add. And we're going to add a static mesh. Once we add the static mesh, we're going to raise it a little. We're going to pick our object. So right now it's a little big, so I'm going to resize it a little just to make it a little more reasonable. Just size it for the best size you think for your player. It's always good and easy to adjust later, so this isn't really a hard step at all. Compile and save, a very important step. Drag your object in. We now have an object in, but it's still not doing anything. That's okay. We're now going to create a HUD folder. Inside of the HUD folder, we're going to create a widget blueprint. This is a user widget. You can name this whatever you want. I recommend naming it widget HUD or HUD widget, whatever you feel like. Our next step is to insert a canvas panel. We do this by searching canvas panel in the top palette. Drag it into your HUD widget, and then next, look up a text block. Text block needs a few little adjustments to it. One thing we'll do is type the name of it to be number of bricks. Then we need to anchor the object. Once it's anchored, we can copy it and put it beside it. Move it towards the object and place it a little different. We're going to change the size of it, and we're also going to set this one as a variable. So once it's a variable, we can then use it in our scripts later. We're going to change the size to be a bit bigger, maybe like 40, 45. 56 works, and we're going to change the number to be 0 so that the default number is not that big, just to help us out for number, just so it looks prettier for us for now. You're good to compile and save now. Make sure this is a variable, and make sure to rename your text block to something other than text block 2. I forgot the initial step and had problems, so it's a good thing I remembered. Compile and save. Our next step is to find our character blueprint. Inside of it, we're going to add an event begin play. In our event begin play, we're going to call on to a few things. First, we're going to create a widget and select the one we made. Then, we're going to create a HUD variable to set. Make sure it's the HUD widget, the one you set previously. Set your HUD to the widget by calling it and dragging it out. Then add a node, add to viewport. Connect your nodes. Compile and save. Our next step will be able to add the number. So we're going to go brick count. Get our HUD. Set our object count, which is number of bricks for us. Then we're going to drag it out and set it to a text. After we set it to a text, we attach the object count. So we get our brick count, set this number to an integer, and drag it in. We're going to connect this node straight to our add to viewport in this case because it works like this. Compile and save. Our next step is to create a function. We're going to create a function in the functions override area just by clicking here. We're going to name it brick add. You can name it whatever you want though. We're going to start by setting our brick count right away. After we set our brick count, we're going to get it and add 1. So we're going to add 1, then get it, drag it in, and we're going to get our HUD. We're going to get the number of objects from the widget. Then we're going to set to text. After that, we attach all the nodes. And we're going to compile and save. Alright, we're going to add a sphere collision to the object now. Once you add the sphere collision, which takes a few seconds, you have a few things to adjust in it. Make sure you select sphere collision in the components and not just the sphere. You have to adjust the radius, maybe make it like 200. That's what I'm going to make mine, just to give it a round. Then we're going to open a component begin overlap on it, cast to our character. Once we get our character, we then add the node to the other actor. Add the function we created earlier because that's very important. Ours was add brick or brick add or something, so we just call the function. We know it's going to add 1. And then we're simply going to delete the actor because we don't want to have an object there once it's been picked up. Compile our thing and save. I think we're good to test, so let's run our game and run up, and there we go. We have 1 brick. Let's see if we have 2. Let's see if we could do 6. What would happen if we do 6 bricks? Let's try it. So we're gonna run. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there you go. Good job. That is how you do a object counter. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.